Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn connects you with experts from all over the world to help you take charge of your career, your business, and your life. Rap along with us. Visit drjacalyn.com to learn how to become a guest or a sponsor. And now, the doctor is in.
Hello and welcome. We are so happy to have you wherever you are joining us from the world. We appreciate your loyalty and your support. You are watching Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn, Celebrate Great Britain, Royally Rich Show, starring Pelham Turner and Helena Chard. And my co-host, Mr. Cini, is with us right now. Welcome, Cini. I love your new title.
Well, persistently prehumous. I looked up, I Googled posthumous and found out that this is the opposite. So
we're glad to hear that. That's for sure.
This is the opposite of posthumous. So, Dr. Jacalyn, I always look forward to this program on Wednesdays. Working with Ian and Helena is so much fun for me, and I know it's a real blast for you, and they always bring us great guests. And today, the weather in the UK, by the way, we haven't done a weather report until today.
Let's hear it.
16 degrees Celsius and partly sunny, if I'm not mistaken, in one of my favorite countries in the world. Such a beautiful place.
I love that. Thank you. And you know what? It's always sunny in my heart when we have Ian and Helena here because they are just magnificent people. Let's bring them out.
Great.
Hi.
What a
Good
lovely
afternoon.
introduction. Thank you so
Jacalyn
much.
and Al. I'm glad I didn't have to pronounce that title for Alfred this week. Because, you know, one of the worst things broadcasters are given are tongue twisters like that.
Yes, that is definitely very creative, Mr. Cini.
You caught me early in the day. Liquor is later, and I'm still creative.
So, Ian and Helena, tell us about our show today.
Okay, so in a minute, we need to go straight on to our first guests. They are the Ben Salmi family. Now, I first heard about the Ben Salmi family, and I thought, no, this is a joke. But the Ben Salmi family, when I first heard about them, were from 3 years old to 20 years old. There's 5 children. Each of the children are authors. And not only are they authors, they're best-selling book authors as well. And I'm thinking, what on earth do they write about? What on earth are they talking about? And so I want to bring them on if we can, because they have got a short space of time today. And they will explain to us how to become, Dr. Jacalyn, best-selling author.
We're so near and dear. Yes, they are not backstage yet. So, as soon as they are, we'll bring them on. But yes, that is tremendous. And of course, we want to hear from Sabrina, their mother, how, her role in all of this, because it's pretty tremendous.
What a story.
It's incredibly inspirational.
Yeah, and Sabrina is a former Mother of the Year, where they have, the entire family. There's one who is 16 years now. And he's been working for the past 3 years with a university. He's been working with Virgin. He's been writing books, best-selling books. And I'm thinking, is there any flaws? There's got to be a flaw somewhere.
Isn't one of them Philip Chan's business partner? And they've written a book together, haven't they?
They've written several books together. And I think that the reality at the moment is that, with the Ben Salmis especially, they're the most incredible family, and yet they are the most humble family as well. And they came on one of our British shows recently, and they were all dressed in what I thought looked something out of Star Wars. And I'm thinking perhaps they've got a new fashion sense or something. they're sort of talking about. Perhaps they've got a fashion sense or something. And they don't. They all do taekwondo. The entire family.
They do.
Does taekwondo, on a Wednesday night, and so we just caught them just as they'd come back from taekwondo classes as well. So, I mean, their story is absolutely incredible.
I think it's very much motivational speaking as well. Seeing them at the exhibition. Last you and various things.
And I think,
fabulous. Hopefully they're going to join us today.
Yeah. And how do you get, the thing that really amazed me was, how on earth do you get a 3.5-year-old to write about a book that is a bestseller, I mean, you know, and the next one up, I think, was 5 or 6. And he wrote a bestseller a little while ago on how to sell your house. This is 6 years old. He's 6 years old. And I'm thinking, there's got to be a flaw somewhere. Well, there is a flaw. There is a flaw somewhere. And I discovered their weakness.
Wow, let's hear it.
I discovered their kryptonite. And their kryptonite is ice cream.
Oh,
Okay.
That's their weakness. That's their weakness. So the very first time, you will know Philip Chan as well. Philip came with us and we went to this ice cream parlor close to the studios where we were working at that time. And there are 50 different styles of ice cream and there were 50 toppings as well. And
They had a scoop of each.
I mean, you've never seen, if you could ever imagine this huge ice cream and then piled high with different sweets, you know, you could hardly see over the top of each one of them. So their whole system, the way to bribe the Ben Salmi family that I've discovered now, apart from the fact they're great anyway, but the way that to bribe the Ben Salmi family is by giving them sweets. Give them sweets, they're there. Give them ice cream, they are definitely there.
do they have a certain kind of ice cream that they like, certain flavors?
Oh, I mean, they all went for different flavors. You know, I was quite modest in my one. I only had 6 different toppings on mine. You know, nothing too much, nothing, you know, too pretentious. But then, you know, I think the assistant in the end, she was trying to work out how to pile in all the different toppings, one on top of the other, and without it falling all over the place at the same time. So that's the Ben Salmi.
It sounds like a great book idea.
Hopefully Sabrina is going to be here to share all.
Yes, actually, I did hear from them, and they're on their way. So everything is wonderful. Helena, do you like ice cream? Are you a fan?
I'm an absolute fan. I love the more icy ice creams, as in not the creamy ice creams. So it's the sorbets. That's what I was looking for. I love sorbets. So lemon sorbets, raspberry sorbets, I love. How about you? Are you?
I'm a little bit of an ice cream fan, except ice cream in the States these days is about $1,000 an ounce. It's a little bit more expensive than gold now, I think.
Why is that, Mr. Steve?
The cost of everything has gone up to the point where I guess I have to cut out ice cream. But I do love this stuff, I got to say.
Do you think, Al, this is really a method in America to actually get people to perhaps eat more healthily? You know, if they judge. Is this the president's new way of getting a more healthy America, do you think?
Indirectly, yes, I guess.
Well, I have to share this, moving away from ice cream, but we are on an island here, and there's a gas station. There's only one gas station. And so the price of gas was $3 and some cents, and then it was $4. It was $4.09. Now it's $4.29 a gallon. So the price of gas is definitely.
And how much do you pay for a gallon of gas in the UK?
I think it's like $1.30 something.
No, it's $1.30 a litre. So it's about our price is, you know, in dollar terms, it's probably about $10 a gallon.
Yeah, $10 a gallon.
$10 a gallon.
Oh yeah.
So think yourself lucky, young that you can fill up.
Yes, it's true.
We're all coming to America to fill up our cars.
Makes sense, man. I'll fill a suitcase.
Well, and we are going over there, by the way. I'm definitely coming over in the spring. I'm making my plans. I'm going to reach out to both of you and figure out how, what, who, what, where, when. And hopefully we can broadcast from there as well for a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
that'd be great. And there's lots of, and we've got several studios that you can come into as well to, you know, sort of help support you on that at the same time. So we're doing at the moment, we've already put into practice opportunities for later this year, for example, with a college in London that has its own television studio. So they said that they would like to work with the famous Dr. Jacalyn as well, and the famous and the equally famous Sir Alfred, you know, to actually sort of create a unity between, again, between America and UK as well. So
That's fantastic. We're looking forward to that. I want to announce that our guests are backstage, and
excellent.
we are going to bring them out. Woo, welcome to the show. It's
Hi.
Oh, so can I wonderfully,
Oh.
totally introduce the Ben Salmi family with Sabrina especially. I think this is the most incredible family I've ever met. I really do. I take my hat off to them. They are all authors. They are all incredible people. And so, Sabrina, if you wouldn't mind to start off with, could you just talk through all the family and perhaps some of the children as well, and talk about the different books that they've done?
Absolutely. Firstly, thank you so much for having us, and thanks to Philip Chan for making it possible. So my name is Sabrina. My name's not Philip. My name's Sabrina Ben Salmi. I am the mother of the Ben Salmi 5. I'm a consultant, an author, publisher, and each of my children are actually all authors and publishers as well. They're award-winning speakers. Paolo, of which he's just coming into the camera now. He's a 12-year-old. He's recently planted 10,000 trees out in Tanzania, fruit trees. So that's generating permaculture in the communities out there, which is absolutely beautiful, creating jobs and sustainability for them. Amir is the youngest ever honorary STEM ambassador for Brunel University.
Here he is.
Sorry.
Great. No, there he is. I see him now. Yeah, that's
Amir is the youngest ever honorary STEM ambassador for Brunel University, which is absolutely just mind-blowing. As a result of that, we were able to open up the floodgates for homeschooled parent families for the first time in history. There were 20 fully paid funded places. They actually get certification from Brunel, which is just, we're mind-blown. Lachey is the eldest. She's 20. She speaks Korean. I wonder if you can say something in Korean.
I'm still learning, but 안녕하세요 여러분 to any Korean viewers.
And then we have Yasmin. She's 13. She's the lovepreneur. She's created a book series that helps people to forgive and release. We're all in Taekwondo suits, so straight after this interview, we have to jump onto our Taekwondo session.
great.
So lovely to see you guys. So tell us about these books, or maybe not all your books, because you've written so many. Are there any favorite subjects that you can share with us?
Yeah, so one of my books is around mindset. That is a big thing that our family is about, but I chose it as a topic to write about, mainly because, you may have heard a lot of the time your mindset is a fertile ground. If you look deeper into that, being a fertile ground, that means anything can be planted in your mind. And it's just taking heed of what can be put inside your mind. And I like to use the analogy of your mind being a house. You want to live in a house that sustains you, and that helps you to live and helps you to grow, and that will sustain you probably for the rest of your life. Or if that house doesn't sustain you, like we all do, we move houses, we change mindset, and that's what my book is all about. It's whether if you're living within this mindset, within this so-called house that doesn't sustain you, how can you then move into a new house that can sustain you and get you to where you want to be?
Yeah, wonderful.
Gosh. Wow.
You know, I have a question for Sabrina. I'm a parent, and I thought I was pretty good at it, but I've never really figured out how to motivate young children to do it.
Should I let you into a secret?
How do you do that? What do you bribe them with?
I love that. I did have to bribe Lachey to attend personal development. That was an actual fact. It was colouring books and ice cream. That's how I got her there. But in actual fact, I really love your question, because many parents ask me this question. It's the reverse. It's instead of me parenting them, telling them what to do and be and have, it's actually stewarding them, supporting them and facilitating their birthing into this existence, asking them, like, what's your superhero skills? What do you love doing? Like, what brings you joy? And I'm telling you, there's not a child on this planet, if you ask them, that hasn't got an answer. Once you activate a 5-year-old, believe me, brace yourself, they will not stop. You'll wind them up like an ever-ready bunny and they'll keep going.
That's great.
Thank you for sharing that. This is the most amazing story. And what really gets me thinking is people generally strive to accomplish one thing. you are all striving to accomplish things over and over and over again. You're just not limiting yourselves, and the things you're accomplishing are truly life-changing. What is it that motivates all of you to achieve so much?
I guess umbrellaing, so as a family, I think what motivates us is the fact that on our journeys, we wish that we maybe had mentors that looked like us, that were around our age, that could tell us that everything was going to be okay and provide us with the tools, techniques, and resources to turn their dreams into reality. So I feel as though, even though most of us, we do have some extroverts in the family, but most of us are introverted. So it was really us being able to gain access to the learning, the resources, the education, and then wanting to share that with as many people as we can. So we all individually have missions to impact at least 1 million people within our niche area that we cover. But it's just that deep desire and love to want to give back and to empower others.
That is truly beautiful and magnificent. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing. We want to support your work. Where can we purchase your books?
So if you actually jump onto Instagram and if you just type any of our names in, so either Sabrina Ben Salmi or author just before all of our names, and there's a link tree in all of our bios that you can just find out what books we have, courses. Amir has an affirmation program that he's got that you can download. So that would be amazing, because we really just want to touch as many hearts and minds as possible, especially during this time in history.
Can I just ask, just before you go, guys, as well, because Trey is here this afternoon. I'm very pleased that Trey is here as well. Trey, can you just give us a very brief background on what you are doing right now? Because it's incredible.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ian. Yes, hi everyone. My name is Ben Salmi. I'm 16 years old. I'm an Amazon bestselling author of actually the 10 Seconds to Charge Genius book, which I co-authored with Philip Chan, who thanks for him actually on here. And I'm a public speaker, amongst a number of other things. But I'd say what I'm just really about focusing on is simply eradicating poverty through the means of education. And since then, I've gone on to write over 14 books today, I believe, and in the process of writing many more. I'm pretty much just all about finances and teach people how they are able to invest both long-term, short-term, and in a number of different ways to allow them to pretty much grant themselves that freedom of choice.
And can I just ask one more very quick question, because I know you've got to go off. The youngest member there, he's very quiet this afternoon.
Not always.
If you like see me behind the pillars, I talk a lot. I talk to myself a lot, but my name's Ben Salmi, aka Mr. Intention, and I've written 5 books on affirmations, and I'm writing a new book, which will be my 6th book. Is called Because I'm Intelligent, I Play Chess, so it's teaching people about like way to use pieces, and I'm the youngest ever STEM ambassador for Brunel University.
And how old are you? Oh. How old are you?
I just turned 8 5 days ago.
Happy birthday.
We are truly in the presence of brilliance, that is for sure. I have never met a family like you before.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Inspiring soul.
We hope that you'll come back and see us again. I know you have to rush off, but we're going to follow your work and we're here to support you. So just reach out and let us know anything we can do to help your cause, your efforts.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for helping us. It's been amazing. I don't know if there's a couple of 30 seconds, if they could do their family anthem, just to share a bit of sentiments with your viewers.
Sure.
Okay. Do you want to cut this in?
Okay, so we have a family anthem, and it starts like this. We believe that a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step in the right direction. We also believe that there's no such thing as failure, only feedback.
If you wanna be somebody, if you wanna go somewhere, you better wake up and pay attention. I'm ready to be somebody. I'm ready to go somewhere. I'm ready to wake up and pay attention. But the question is, are you?
Oh, that's beautiful. Very nice.
And you can sing too.
You can. It's kind of like a journaling Jackson 5. They're wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having us. It's been amazing.
Such a pleasure.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
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 We need to take a quick break, and then Helen, I think we're going to move over to the news. Is that correct?
Yeah,
That's right.
we can.
All right.
We
We'll
have
be right back. Stay with us.
The session that we had with BCAT was really entertaining and enlightening. We were able to put together some very specific steps that we as individuals can take, and it was really fun to all come together and see sort of where we're going as a team and how we can all get there together.
We had a tremendous experience with the BCAT partners. One of the challenges that we have as an organization is to make sure that we have the right people in the right chairs doing the right thing. To do that well, you have to have synergy. You can try to dream up ways to make sure that your group does that, or you can rely on experts. We would recommend BCAT partners to anybody who's looking to take their organization to the next level.
It's what we do together that counts. The Big Alliance story. A true story about faith over adversity, perseverance, and entrepreneurship. Read Earl's story and how he became an entrepreneur. Available on Amazon, Kindle, and Audible.com. For more information, contact Earl Hurd at earlhurd@bicalliance.com or call 1-800-460-4242.
Hi, my name is Zane Carson Caruth, and I'm the author of this book, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever.
Reading is magic. Studies have shown that reading to your children lays the foundation for greater success in life. Reading helps develop language and vocabulary skills. It helps improve memory, and it encourages curiosity and inspires creativity. The benefits are immeasurable, and as a parent, you'll benefit too. In only 10 or 15 minutes a day, you'll be creating warm memories and a bonding experience that will last for years to come. So take time to read to your children. Read them books about things that engage and interest them. Tales of fairies and magic fascinate children, and as everyone knows, the Tooth Fairy is at the top of the list. If your child loves magic, wands, adventure, and what child doesn't, you'll love reading them books from the trademarked series, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever. Follow along as Bella, the world's first tooth fairy, accidentally starts the tooth fairy tradition. Learn the tricks of being a professional tooth fairy in the book, Bella Starts a Tooth Fairy School. Your child's imagination will soar as you read the adventures of Bella and her magic wand. These wonderful books are available at worldsfirsttoothfairy.com. and at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Walmart.
Welcome back to Celebrate Great Britain Royally Rich Show. I am your host, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and my co-host, Mr. Al Cini, and the stars of our show, Ian and Helena. And this show is designed to promote business, tourism, and communities between our great nations, the United States of America and Great Britain. So thank you for watching and being here. Over to you, Helena, for the news.
Thank you very much. I'm so happy to share some royal news with you. Okay, so starting with Her Majesty the Queen, looking absolutely beautiful as always, out and about, and actually really showing that we're all getting back to normal, which again is great news to begin with. But we saw her recently at the Royal Navy flagship, which is called HMS Queen Elizabeth. Now, about that, it's great, but I find also a little bit comedic because she's obviously Queen Elizabeth II. So it is bizarre that it's called Queen Elizabeth, HMS Queen Elizabeth, I think. But anyway, we can go on to that. So she looked beautiful, red cashmere military coat and hat. She always looks stunning. She met loads of Navy, Royal Air Force, Royal Marine personnel, and 250 American Marines who are also serving on this operation. The nickname is Big Lizzie, and it's set off from Portsmouth for 28 weeks. It's going to visit 40 nations. And I think the whole thing about it really is it's flying the flag for global Great Britain. And just moving on slightly, obviously the Queen, we always see in bright clothing. And the one thing she made a promise years ago that she would never be seen in beige because she would not be recognised. And if you think about it, it's quite true. So obviously she dresses up in bright colours for everyone that loves her to see. Hence the reason why Mr. Turner is there in his red tie.
It's the only way I get a word
in. Showing off as usual. Yeah. But yeah, so so always lovely to see the Queen, and we always knew she would be out and getting on with things, and she is. Next, why is everyone talking about the late Princess Diana? Okay, so there's a lot going on here, but the media is revving up to her 60th birthday, what would have been her 60th birthday, on the 1st of July.
Wow.
There's a new statue being unveiled where we can all reflect and celebrate her life and her legacy. And Prince William and hopefully Prince Harry will be involved in this, but we will talk about that shortly. That's a big story in itself. But it's something positive. But, as always, things are positive, but they're slightly shaded by recent revelations that we've had here in the UK. I don't know if you've heard in the US about a well-known journalist named Martin Bashir. And he was a journalist that was involved with the BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation, I think you know. And he basically got this amazing interview in 1995 and he lied. He got it by deceit. And it's, there's lots of things going on here. Prince William has made an amazingly strong announcement saying how disappointed he is with the BBC. It's basically, this has fueled his mother's isolation and paranoia. She got rid of her security and obviously inevitably things happened not for the good. The good thing about this is the BBC, who we trust and have done for years and years, is accountable. So this is good. So we will watch the story, ravel out. So this is quite.
That to me, that's an interesting aspect of the story because so many people use the royal family for publicity. I mean, and it's the journalists and some members of the family too, I guess. And so we as an audience, I think we're always caught between all that.
I think as well, the interesting thing was that it's been known for over 20 years that Martin Bashir got one of the graphic artists at the BBC to fake some bank accounts that purported to show that perhaps the security services were paying people in Diana's employ, allegedly, and so that she needed to speak out against this. And this was apparently the reason why she finally decided to do the interview in the first place. And so it's been known for a long time. And Bashir disappeared off into past as new in the broadcasting world, and then came back in 2016. And the big question everyone is asking them at the moment is, why was Martin Bashir re-employed with the BBC knowing that the BBC knowing this was the skeleton in the cupboard? Why did the BBC employ him again? But as their religious editor as well. I mean, the irony of the situation is something else.
It's longer. He's handed in his notice, as you can imagine, and he's almost not part of the BBC now. I think there's a few days left.
Has there been any information as to why that happened?
Well, I think what's going to happen now is as you know, I work in politics as well. That people would love to have inquiries. Inquiries are used by politicians to kick what we call the can down the road. In other words, to change the rhetoric on any story, get rid of it, put it under a carpet, and hopefully people will forget about it in the future. So there's an inquiry on starting up now about why did this happen in the first place.
It's actually, yeah, it's been done. It's with a top barrister, and he's highlighted all the discrepancies. So we're just waiting for the final bits to come out, but it's all proven.
And the strange thing is that the BBC has a nickname in Britain. It's called Auntie. We expect the BBC to be this comforting, warm, positive brand, and there we go. This is what they've been up to.
Well, let's just hope that everyone's going to keep on the BBC side. That's how I feel. They've been with us for too long to let them go.
Have ratings gone down at all?
No, they haven't because years ago, before programs like this started up and channels like this started up, the average viewing figures for the BBC for, say, a primetime program would be something around about 22 million. That would be the average program number out of 68 million, so it's quite a large proportion. But over the years, because of all the other channels and great channels like your own channel as well coming on board, people prefer to watch what you are doing now rather than listen to perhaps some programming where now they feel even more justified. Is the BBC telling the truth or not?
It's all about authenticity, isn't it? Which we have on our show.
Yes. Guess what? We'll take those 22 million viewers. If they want to come over here, we welcome you.
So we have more news, but just working out, is Annette with us, or should we carry on? It would be great to carry on.
Sure.
I mean, so we obviously talk about that. So as we obviously understand and appreciate that royal dramas generate huge headlines all the time. Of course they do. So it's always good to shine a light on whether it's the general person doing good. But today it's going to be Sophie, Countess of Wessex. We don't hear that much about her. Now, she is married to Prince Edward, who is Her Majesty the Queen's youngest son, for people that don't know. And she works tirelessly behind the scenes. I mean, some people say she does donkey work, and she does obviously a lot more than that. And she's very rarely recognised for what she does. So there's not that much fanfare that goes with her work. But she recently is coming more to the forefront, and it's good to speak about her, I would say. A few things that she does. She co-runs the Duke of Edinburgh Award with her husband, which is good. I think one of the biggest things that she's actually done the diamond part of the Duke of Edinburgh Award as well, because there's different fragments to the award. She recently is a new patron of well-being of women, which is a very different side of things. And she has, in fact, taken over that role from Princess Diana. The charity, this is a charity that's dedicated to life-saving research into all areas of women's reproductive health. It's a real taboo subject. So it's great that she's talking about it, because obviously, it's so normal. It's so normal. It's madness.
Right.
So we're really happy that she's there. She's also, really gets on so well with Her Majesty the Queen. They're very, very, very close. She obviously comes from a PR background, and recently Her Majesty the Queen actually released the photograph of herself and the Duke of Edinburgh. The day before the funeral, it was actually released through Sophie. So they have this friendship, which is very, very tight. And in fact, Sophie was seen visiting Her Majesty far more than any other royal. So she was with her every single day. So I think, a big shout out to her, because she does speak about, that's just a couple of things I've spoken about, but there's far, far, far more things.
Helena, we have a magnificent photograph that you took.
Oh, yes.
So
now here they are in all their glory. Now, she's very beautiful. I would say she actually does have a bit of a Princess Diana feel about her. She's a lovely lady. But look at Prince Edward. Now he's showing off his knees. Are we all going weak at the knees? I don't know. This is actually a trooping of the colour, and it's a shot that I captured showing him in full glory. He's wearing the London Scottish Regiment military outfit, which I love the fact. He's Scottish, showing these kilts. He's a Royal Honorary Colonel. So yeah, I love that shot actually. It's a very normal shot, but it just shows them as they are.
Well done. It's absolutely beautiful.
It's a great photo.
I think sometimes though that it's all very well wearing these uniforms, but it can get quite drafty. You know, if you have an open carriage, and I hope he was wearing something suitable underneath the kilt. That's the only word I would say.
Are you about to tell us about a personal story of you and your kilts?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
That's another show, Ian and his kilts.
Definitely.
Oh, that's so funny. So we have so much more news, to be quite honest, but I don't know whether we're going to hop over to another guest or what we're doing.
We're actually going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back with Annette White, who is waiting patiently in the green room, so to speak.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for being with us. We'll be right back with Celebrate Great Britain Royally Rich Show. Located at 121 Haddon Avenue in Westmont, New Jersey, is Margie Cedrone, artisan jeweler. Margie's been in business for more than 30 years. She works with her clients to create custom pieces of jewelry to reflect their personality and help them make their own bold statement. Starting in the renowned Jewelers Row in Center City, Philadelphia in 1988, Margie works directly with her clients to develop one-of-a-kind pieces such as necklaces, engagement rings, wedding bands, unique watches and tennis bracelets, as well as a myriad of rings and earrings for everyone in your family. She also has worked directly with Dr. Jacalyn over the years, creating unique pieces of jewelry to reflect her personality. She does pearl stringing and repairs on site at 121 Haddon Avenue. Call or text Margie at 215-384-7155. Margie Cedrone Jewelry is open by appointment only. Make your own bold statement.
Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to Story Garden. Your host, Diane Boehm. I'm so happy to have you here today.
Diane Floyd Boehm tells wonderful stories that warm the heart, spark the imagination, and unite people and families across generations. For children, Diane's Harry the Camel connects with all of us who've ever wondered how different our lives might have been if only we'd been born something better, like a wonderful horse instead of an ordinary camel. In the end, we all learn along with Harry that there's nothing better than just being yourself. Diane's Little Girl in the Moon looks down on earthbound children and wonders if they know she's just like them. A story of love, home, and the bond between mother and daughter, its powerful theme that we're each of us different yet all of us the same plants a seed in children that promises to blossom within a loving and trusting grown-up. Diane's new biography, Rise, recounts the experiences of her grandmother, Ruby, to reveal the hidden strength of the human spirit. Ruby's story inspires all of us to become the best versions of ourselves. You'll find all of Diane's delightful books and much more at DianeFloydBoehm.com. Visit DianeFloydBoehm.com. That's DianeFloydBoehm.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn. And, listen, we've got a great guest coming up. George Bernard Shaw once said that America and Britain are two countries divided by a common language. And I don't think many of us really appreciate the cultural differences in communicating what we might have to offer to those different audiences. And so, Ian and Helena, tell us a little bit about our next guest.
Well, this is the wonderful Annette White, and we are very jealous, Annette, because you're in a private club somewhere in London, and you haven't invited us.
I'm sorry, guys. Next time.
You are not now.
Hi, Annette. It's nice to see you.
Hello. Lovely to see you guys. I'm very blessed that I'm here. Thank you very much for the invite.
Thank you.
This is the most incredible lady. She's one of the top communication companies in southern England with Osprey. And she's got so many stories to tell, I hope, because we need to fill up a show this afternoon as well at the same time. And I think the reality is that there's a lot of opportunities now, and I think you feel the same in that,
Yes.
to actually promote British industries into America. And I hope you'll talk at some stage about this very exciting app you've got as well that you've been pioneering as well. So over to you in your luxurious studio.
I wish you were here with me, guys. Honestly, next time, once we have lockdown, you're all invited.
Next time you can invite us.
But I will just say, if there's any background noise, then I do apologise because they are coming in and out of the room at the moment. So I'll try and keep the noise down as best as possible. But yeah, absolutely delighted to be here. Yeah, totally.
So please tell us some of the things that you're doing right now, especially the app. Tell us about the app.
Yeah, so it's exciting. So I was introduced obviously by a joint colleague of ours, Ian, Philip Chan. He introduced me to a founder at Sesh, who had an idea for, it was originally a travel app. And then because of COVID, he had to pivot pretty quickly. And on meeting Sesh, I understood, I think literally within the hour, I thought, actually, this could be, a really good product and market fit for the business-to-business element. And then obviously when I looked at it, we said, okay, how can we pivot and how can we, assist the business-to-business market in terms of getting people to transition from having a website, but then to creating and building their own app without having, obviously, the technical skills, or you don't have the huge budgets or anything like that. So for entrepreneurs, small businesses, solo businesses, medium-sized businesses, charities, communities, all those types of people. So we're actually looking at targeting, like I said, helping millions of small businesses and communities monetize their products, services and solutions and build on user and brand engagement.
Oh, wow. So Britain is now coming down out of lockdown.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for us? Building communications relationships between the UK and America, USA.
Sorry, just say that again for me, Helena. Sorry, I can't hear you very well. Just say that again.
As we're coming out of lockdown now,
yes,
which is great. Do you have any advice that you can give us all, in your professional capacity, as to how we can build communication relationships with us and the USA?
Oh, 100%. To my mind, and how I tend to work, I'm very much a people person. So, while I may look at somebody's product or service or solution, I actually like to get to know the management team, and that's really important to me. So, and I just think, if you're on the same page, talking the same language, it actually makes it far, far easier. So I'm quite lucky in the respect that, you can pick and choose as to who you want to work with. And I think you pick up pretty quickly in terms of who you can work with and who you can't work with. And I just think trying to build those personal relationships as well is, is really important, because not everybody, fits each other's purpose or, may not have the same values, that sort of thing. So I try to look and work with people that have the same core values and, wants and needs, and perhaps what's their exit strategy. Are we on the same path? Because if we're not aligned, then that's not going to work. So, that's really important to me, to be fair. And like I said, we're building some significant relationships within the US, certainly within the influence and speaker market, which is just phenomenal.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you. That really resonates.
Yeah.
That's it. I want to follow up on George Bernard Shaw, he's actually posthumous. I'm prehumous. George Bernard Shaw and his comment about America and the UK being different, it creates a kind of an interesting challenge for a company like Osprey, where as a creative agency, your job is to try to bridge that gap. A lot of people in the US, companies in the US might think that whatever it is they're doing in the US to go to market will work in the UK. That's not true.
No, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yes.
Good. How do you help them?
You just obviously, like you said, you assess each individual business's needs, and then obviously you fit and work around that purpose. So, and exactly like you said, not one size fits all. So it's getting to understand the business, understanding the management team, what their wants, goals, needs, and everything else are, and then aligning that strategy, to go to market or whatever, or change what they have already to align for something better.
Annette, this is the most amazing story, and I love men, so guys, don't take this the wrong way, but I really like strong, powerful women who are out there changing the world. So thank you for everything as a trailblazer. And I'm wondering, what is the accessibility for someone to break into this field? Is it easy? Are there a lot of challenges you have to go through before you can?
It is relatively easy, and I think it's all about who's in your support network, right? So, and we've all had people mentor us, support us, and that sort of thing. So, for my mind, being a woman and in business, it's really important for me to especially help other women entrepreneurs, and just build that women empowerment element as well. So that's an absolute fundamental for me. So if I can help support, mentor, guide, anything like that, point people in the right direction, then that's what I like to do. Yeah, 100%. I'm all for that. Absolutely.
That's fantastic. And by the way, my ears lit up as soon as I heard you talking about the app. So as a small business owner, I'm thinking, wouldn't it be great if everyone had Dr. Jacalyn app on their phone? So I'm going to read out how that can happen.
So happy to talk to you. Absolutely.
When you think about the communications industry, I think that women have a different perspective than men do. What are your thoughts on this?
I think we're both very different, right? So, and it's just about taking different people's perspective on board. So it's about, listening, guiding, and adding to that, because, we're not all the same. So we're all going to have different perspectives, and it's just allowing each other, to listen and have a voice. And it's about coming together, though, isn't it, really? It's about coming together, to be fair.
Girl power.
Yeah.
We do have a clip, Annette, and before I play this, would you like to tee it up for us and tell our audience what they'll be watching or listening to?
Is this on the video?
Yes, the video.
Okay. So this is I was at Luton Hoo, which is an absolutely fantastic building in Bedfordshire. It's a beautiful, beautiful location. Huge amounts of history and very dear to my heart. And it's in my local hometown, and it's where I work from, which is a beautiful environment to work from. Yeah, absolutely.
It's absolutely
those creative juices going.
Yes, it's stunning. Let's take a look.
That was beautiful.
Stunning. My dream has always been to stand at the top of a staircase like that with like 7 inch heels. Hello, darlings. I'll be right back.
And let me add something from a male perspective. I cannot understand how you can walk down a flight of steps in those shoes.
I know, I did struggle a little bit.
You didn't look like it though. You just
beautiful.
One false step and it's over. It is nerve-wracking. You carried it off fabulously.
Beautiful video. So Annette, a real quick question. Americans have this kind of loud, flashy way about them. I perhaps you've heard. And but a UK audience is not necessarily moved by that kind of a message, is it?
Right. Yeah.
So one of the things I think that's if there are companies out there that are trying to create a partnership with a company in the UK or maybe go to market in the UK,
yes,
I think they really need to understand the nuanced nature of the culture there. So what would be your first piece of advice to them? What should they do first?
Yeah, I think you're right. It is very good. And like you said, it's just getting to understand the market, and it's how you interpret those different markets, the different touch points, and how you then, create an avatar for each one of those touch points. So and that's really important. It's like, again, like I said, it's not a one size fits all. So you do have to get to understand each of those different markets and then how you talk to that market individually.
So the first step is to call you, which is really the bottom line.
Absolutely.
Of it. Yeah, you want to call somebody who knows the territory.
Yes. Yeah.
Great.
I can help you understand that market. Yeah.
Good.
As I mentioned before, I'm very interested in the app, and there's a myriad of services that you provide. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
They can get a hold of me on my website or directly by email. So my website is www.ospreyoukAssociates.co.uk, and that will come direct through to me.
And you're also on social media if people want to reach out to you that way?
All the social medias, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Great resource. Terrific.
Yes. Fabulous. And by the way, when I come to London, I want to come see you and I want to walk down that staircase with you.
I'm going to Home House as well. Home House is a beautiful private members club. It really is. So I'm very blessed to be here. Yeah, first day back in London, so it's very nice.
Well, I look forward to meeting you in person.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much for being here. It's truly, again, just watching you, you're glowing, you're intelligent, you're beautiful, you're so successful and accomplished, and you're just a role model for other women. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Very blessed. I hope you all stay safe as well.
Thank you, Annette.
Have a
Thanks for
great
joining
day,
us.
Annette.
Thanks, Annette.
Bye.
Oh, she was lovely. You know, all the best people.
Oh, yeah.
Giving back to the world.
I think there are some incredible people at the moment, but there's some incredible people in America. And I think, the reality at the moment is that a lot of things are happening in Britain right now. Today, just a piece of news, just to probably finish up with, Helena might have another piece of news, but you will probably see on your American channel soon a young man called Dominic Cummings. And Dominic Cummings is trying to extricate himself. He was the Prime Minister's advisor. Some say he was the Prime Minister during the coronavirus episodes. And today he's dealing out a lot of perhaps interesting facts about the Prime Minister or the lack of the Prime Minister. Perhaps why the Prime Minister, instead of looking at the issue that he thought was just a different type of flu at the start of the pandemic, January, February last year, he went skiing instead. So I know with your President Trump, you think you've had some issues, but I suppose if nothing else, Trump never seemed to. He went on the golf course, but he never went skiing. But I think so. Today, it's a very big news day for us over here as well. Just to give you a sort of a bit of news at the same time, it's a very big news day, and he's dishing the dirt in great shovelfuls at the moment as we speak. And political commentators like myself and Helena, we're all watching this and we're listening because this was the guy who actually decided many different policies of how Britain would perform during the lockdown period. And then he fell out with the Prime Minister last year. And I won't use the language that he's used because even the BBC had to apologise. Auntie had to apologise for some of the language because it was going out live on television at the same time. They had to apologise for it. They didn't have the time to bleep some of the language that was used. It just goes to show, I think, that the values that we hold in Britain, and I know the values that you hold in America, it's the people who make the country. And I think we value who we see in this country, and we also really value people like yourselves in America.
Well, one of the things I think I really admire about you folks there is that your culture is about getting over it. Deal with it, get over it. Our culture is about advertising and screaming about it.
Drag it on.
We take every little speed bump and we make a mountain out of it. And then we drive back and forth over it and complain about it for years. You guys fix the hole, move on. And if you're
focused, huh?
Yeah, and to me anyway, that's what the royal family represents, because they are, that continuity is exactly, that's what guides you through life. And that whole idea that the future is better and that you need to hang around for it, and make it happen. I think that's what you offer more than anything. That's why I've always enjoyed visiting you.
Oh, thank you. That's so lovely. Actually, just a funny little tidbit, again, a royal bite, as they say. So Princess Anne, who is Her Majesty's daughter, recently has been in the north, and she was visiting. She actually is she works the most out of all the royals. She works tirelessly. She really has so many charities that she is head of. The funny thing that she did, she was in the north and she was visiting a rehabilitation centre, and turned up, and everyone was like, oh my goodness, there's someone so exciting that's turning up. Mission Impossible has also been filmed in the same area. So
I think they were expecting Tom Cruise, were they?
People turning up, and they were like, yeah. And then Princess Anne, bless her, turned up. But actually, luckily, there were some people obviously not wanting to see Princess Anne, as you can imagine, but there were some royalists who were really happy to see her. But everyone was so excited to meet Tom Cruise. But, as always, Princess Anne, she is amazing. She's got a very good sense of humour, and she realised what had happened, and she was there. She actually spoke to some of the people waiting around, and she's great. She's really
Are you telling us that she might be starring in the next film?
Possible.
No,
it's not impossible.
It's not impossible. You're right.
Oh, that's brilliant. Was Tom Cruise anywhere to be found?
No, the big, huge, group of people. No, Tom Cruise wasn't there. He'd vanished somewhere. So next time.
he had an issue last year, and I don't know whether you saw that in America, where Tom Cruise, and thank God for Americans, for the film industry in Britain, because Tom Cruise came over when a lot of other perhaps actors were worried about coming into Britain. He came over, and he's just been filming, as you say, Mission Impossible, the latest one. He made sure that the whole film set was COVID safe. And then one day he saw some of the workers standing around without masks, and it was recorded without him knowing that it was being recorded. And he had some pretty explosive language to say to these people, because he had come over. He was, let's be honest, a very famous star. He didn't need to come, and he helped to save the British film industry last year, and so there was that volatile moment in time. So as I say, thank goodness for American actors who came over as well, bravely came over and helped to support our film industry at the same time.
I did read that article, and I did think to myself, you have to give him credit because he's concerned about everyone's well-being. And
there's another point too. In principal photography, you've got a star that's in like 90% of the film. They're in all the scenes. If that person gets laid up for 3 weeks with a disease, that costs the production a huge amount of money. And so I mean, it is about health and well-being. There's no question about that, but it's a business too, and they're very strictly regimented, and you just can't afford to have it derailed.
And plus, he does a lot of his own stunts, so he's got to be in tip-top shape physically and mentally.
I do all my own stunts. That's not that big a deal.
The next week, we want to see you rappel.
Give me a week. I might need 2 weeks.
That's what we want.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I think Al probably has his own double. I think
I'll bring him in.
your own double, he does it all for you.
Yeah, I'll bring him in. Okay.
I knew there was something about you. There's two of you. Now I get it.
There are 2 of me. Yeah, be very quiet.
Oh, this has been informative and fun as always.
As always.
Thank you, guys.
It's been great.
It's been great fun again. And we've got some more great people for next week again as well. And as we're just saying to you just before we came on, we've got an explosive, wonderful tale to tell in 2 weeks' time. If there's a dry eye in the house after the story comes out, I won't believe it.
That sounds wonderful.
Wednesday's
my favorite day of the week now.
Yes, it is. Anything you want to tease out for next week, or you want to keep our audience guessing?
I think in a moment, we're still working on things. Sometimes some of the guests that we're trying to get on can be a little bit hard to actually talk to at the moment for all sorts of reasons. But we like to surprise you as well.
Surprises. We like surprises.
There's always a ream of royal news, and we've got lots of it. But we'll save it for next time, I say.
Absolutely.
All right. Well,
Great.
Thank you again for being here, and thank you for inviting your guests. They were all fabulous, and we look forward to seeing you again next week.
So
Have
excited.
a great week.
So looking
Take care
forward
of
to
yourselves.
it.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you, Ian.
Thank you both. Bye.
Love you both.
Well,
Hey.
now I know. Now there's two of you, and it all is making sense. But
All right, let's not make a big thing of it. I have 2 weeks to figure out what my stunt's going to be.
Tom Cruise, look out, because Mr.
Yeah,
Al-
I'm going to have to. Nothing too strenuous, I promise.
Well, I do love Ian and Helena. They are just wonderful people, and I love their professionalism. And just as individuals, human beings, they want to make the world a better place, and that's what they're doing.
They are generous and loving people, and the selection of guests reflects that. Wonderful
Yes,
to have. Great
definitely.
partner.
Mr. Cini, how can people get in touch with you?
Al.Cini at getbcat.com.
Tell us what you're doing at BCAT, if you would.
Pardon me?
Tell us what you're doing over at BCAT.
Well, we're helping people fall in love with their work. I mean, if you've ever imagined or remembered a job that you had that you loved, that you couldn't wait to get to in the morning, that you didn't want to leave at the end of the day, there's a formula to achieve that, not just for yourself, but for the people who work with you, not for you, but with you. And when you do that, all the important metrics are improved, from turnover to profitability to productivity. And that's what we do with Brand and Culture Alignment Toolkit.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that with us. And thank you, as always, for everything that you do to make this platform continuously grow and professional. You're
the perfect person to work with on this. And I love the product you're creating, Dr. Jacalyn.
Thank you. Well, it's thanks to you and Ian and Helena and the coaches and mentors that I have that have the experience and that the heart. They see what it is that I'm trying to do by giving people a platform to share their story.
Wonderful.
All righty. I will see you. I'll see you for the business show.
In a couple hours.
Yes. Thanks again, Al.
Thanks, Doc.
Wow. I hope you enjoyed the programming as much as we are, because it's all about you. And we are bringing you co-hosts and guests that have all kinds of backgrounds and experience, but they all have one thing in common. They want to make the world a better place. They want to give people an opportunity to share their stories. So if you have a story to share, please do go over to our website, drjacalyn.com, and book your session. I just want to quickly review the rest of the programming for this afternoon. We have the Underdog Show, which is at noon, and that is Eastern time, and that's 5 p.m. British Summer Time. And then we have the Business Show with Mr. Cini, and that is at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. British Summer Time. After that, we have A Better You, lessons from the best coaches, consultants, and trusted advisors, and that's at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 9 p.m. British Summer Time. I highly encourage you, if you are a coach, consultant, or trusted advisor, and you have content, let's think about your career. Think about all the knowledge and wisdom that you have. How can you cut it down to 15-minute lessons and present it on our platform? We'd love to hear from you. Again, go over to drjacalyn.com, book your session, or contact us. And then our last show of the day is In the Name of Love, and that is at 5 p.m. Eastern Time or 10:30 p.m. British Summer Time. My last announcement, my book is finally launched. Yay! Behind the Green Screen, How to Succeed in the Live Broadcasting Business. I'm looking for my book cover, and this is a labor of love. It is not only a how-to book, which it is how to build your own live broadcasting platform, but it's also my personal stories of how and why I left the corporate world. And it's really an empowerment to women. So if you are a woman who has ever worked in the corporate world, maybe some of these things that I encountered happened to you as well. Although overall I have had a great career, but I just wanted to share some of my stories, and I hope that you'll go over to Amazon and pick up the book. It's not for people specific to broadcasting. It's my true stories of how I built this platform and the steps along the way. So thank you again for being here. We'll look forward to seeing you again soon. It's our pleasure to have you. If you have any suggestions for programming, again, go over to drjacalyn.com. We'll see you again soon. Bye.